Hello, hello, Sarah of SEK Handmade here. And friends, it has been a little while since we have done a Meet the Maker. And I'm so excited to be back. So, I love meeting and getting to know other small business owners and makers, and I love introducing you to them as well. And today I have a wonderful special maker with you, you guys. We do not know each other well, but I can already tell that she is just such a lovely person and that we're going to have a lot in common, and it's going to be such a wonderful chat. I have Molly Wiecks with me here. She is the owner of 5 to 6, and she makes the most beautiful project bags and notion carriers. I have looked through all the things and they look incredibly practical. I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for the thing that's going to organize me, and she has you covered. So I can't wait for you to meet her. So let's do it. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It is my pleasure. I can't wait to get to know more about you. I love that I instantly recognize your weekender sweater. Show it off. It's gorgeous.
There might be a few mistakes.
Nope. So my mom was a professional tailor growing up. So, and she always said, mistakes are what make handmade special.
I completely agree.
She sewed my wedding dress, and she stabbed herself while she was beating it and bled all over it. And she was like, it's just so special now.
Oh my
gosh. So
it's not a flaw, it's a feature.
That's right. Absolutely. So yes. a little bit of each of us in everything we make, right?
That's right.
I love it. Wonderful, wonderful. So let's start off. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, whatever you want to share, where you grew up, about your family, where you are now, hobbies.
All right. Well, my name is Molly Wiecks. Thank you for pronouncing it right. Sometimes I hear all sorts of things, Weeks, and that's fine too. But I live in Western Washington, near Seattle, so a suburb of Seattle, Bothell, Washington, with my husband and my 2 boys. They are 5th grade and 2nd grade, wrapping up the school year. And I'm just lucky enough that I work out of my home studio and I just get to sew all day long. But it hasn't always been that way. I started my adulthood as a teacher. I worked as a 2nd grade teacher for 8 years. And I always had this side hustle going on. I mean, really, in high school, I was sewing, and I've always had this entrepreneurial streak inside me. And I just had this little side hustle while I was teaching. And then when I got pregnant with my first son, I thought it was the best opportunity to just, drop the teaching for at least a couple of years and be a stay-at-home mom and work on my business, which anyone that is a parent or has been a stay-at-home parent will know that that's really funny, because it's just so much work having a baby and being a stay-at-home parent. So I did my best and limped along for several years, but now my kids are in school all day and I have the time and space to really think about my business and make it what I want to be. So I feel really lucky that I get to do what I do.
Okay. We are the same person.
Yay! Were you a teacher?
I have a 5th grader and a 2nd grader. Oh. I taught for 8 years in elementary school, and then I decided to stay home with my oldest. That is
That's so funny. Yeah, I was ready for a break after 8 years. I don't know. I mean, it's a great profession, and I thank God for teachers. But
yes,
those little guys keep us busy enough without another job.
Yeah, I always thought I was teaching while my husband was in graduate school, and it was perfect because he had all of his energy and focus in graduate school, and I had all of my energy and focus on my kids, my school kids, not my children kids. And I often thought, I'm not sure I could put as much energy into other people's kids once I have my own kids.
Yes, absolutely agree.
So
takes a lot. One of my kids' teachers had a baby this year, and she expressed that exact same thing, how hard it is to be a teacher and take care of your family. It's a lot.
It is. And there are people who do a wonderful, amazing job at it. And
Absolutely.
God bless them. They are wonderful. I am always telling the teachers, whatever you need, please tell me. I'm happy to help out. I personally can't be in the classroom anymore, but I want to make your classroom as easy as possible.
I know. They need all the support. They deserve it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so fun. I love it. So, have you always lived in Washington?
No, I grew up in Eastern Washington, so near Pullman. Washington State University is the closest town, but I grew up on a wheat farm. So it was like no neighbors, just surrounded by fields and fields of wheat. So I think that's kind of what helped me flex my creative muscles, because we had to kind of entertain ourselves, and I had a lot of time and space to pursue creative activities. My grandma would always, we'd go to her house and she'd be like, today we're painting, or today we're making paper, or today we're using X-Acto knives to cut paper designs. Just like every craft you could think of, she would just have it set up and do a little class with us, basically. And then I would just kind of go down a rabbit hole of, oh, I'm going to make paper at home now. And just, I feel so lucky she gave me that gift of just do it, just try it and see what happens. And maybe you'll become passionate about it, or maybe you'll never do it again. It's fine. Yeah, that's where I grew up. And it's very different over there. It's just quiet and rural. And then I moved over here after college. So city life, and we have a nice home with a big yard now. So the kids have maybe the best of both worlds.
There you go. That's nice. I love that. That's so wonderful that your grandmother did that. That was my mom. We were always, when I look back now, as a child, it was just what we did. It was just like pick up this craft, buy paper mache, make masks, do, all these crazy things. And now looking back as a grown-up and seeing like the time and energy and supplies that it took to do those things, I was like, man,
I know I need to be better, or, put more effort, because one of my kids is not very interested in crafts, or he is a soccer guy. And the other one just loves everything. He wants to grow the plants and draw the pictures and make the clay. And yeah, he always wants to sew with me, and I need to make more time, because fostering that creative spirit in someone is very important if that's what they're interested in.
Absolutely. That is so funny, because that's my kids too. My oldest is very math oriented. He loves facts. He loves knowledge. He loves to sit down and read big books cover to cover. And my youngest is just like an explorer and a puzzle solver. And my biggest fear of him going to like official school is that they're gonna like, teach that out of him. Not necessarily intentionally, but I'm like, your biggest strength is that you look at things and see it differently than other people.
That's so awesome. It's so fun to watch our kids get interested in different things and what lights them up. It's really fun to watch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So wonderful. So you grew up on a farm. Do you have a desire for like growing your own food now in your big backyard, or not so much?
And we didn't have animals or anything. It was, my dad grew wheat and barley and peas. So it was just a wheat farm. And there were 4 of us girls. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. So he just really didn't involve the girls much.
Sure.
And I didn't care. I didn't want to drive the truck or, spray the weeds. But no, I am not a gardener. It's not my thing. But I do it with my son as much as he wants to do. We have like tomatoes on the deck, and that's about it. We have lots of bunnies and deer, so that's my excuse.
Yeah, same here. We moved from Ohio to Wisconsin about 3 years ago now, and we had it figured out in Ohio, but I do not have it figured out in Wisconsin. We have a lot more critters here. I feel like just today, somebody was walking by with their dog, and they were stopping and looking at my yard, and I was like, what are they doing? And I'm going around the house. Oh my gosh, there was this heron. I'm not even kidding you. He was like 4 foot tall, just standing in my backyard.
Whoa,
he was enormous and so close to the house.
Wow. We get bobcats sometimes. That's kind of scary. Like,
Ooh.
yeah,
Yes.
just never know what's going to come around and snack on things.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. So tell us a little bit about how you learned your craft. Both, why don't you tell us both sewing and knitting? And do you crochet?
Yeah, I was thinking sewing, but yeah, knitting, of course. Well, like I said, my grandma basically taught me sewing, and my mom sewed, and she had a sewing machine, and I just go home and like find some fabric, and I didn't know anything about seam allowances, so I'd sew really close to the edge and wonder why it frayed. And so I just learned, I guess I ended up picking up patterns from Joann's. I wanted to make like little tops in high school. And so that's how I learned about, seam allowance prevents it from coming apart in the end. And I also took 4-H. I remember my 4-H teacher, you know, those fabric panels where it's like you can make a little duck. We made ducks. So you cut out the pieces and then you sew it together. And in the end, you have a little stuffed animal. I remember that being one of my first sewing projects. But yeah, I made an entire quilt in high school, not knowing how to quilt. And I embroidered on it and it's completely falling apart. I didn't know what I was doing, but I just wanted to do it. I just was driven to figure it out. And, you know, it's in a box and it's not usable, but it's a treasure. So from there, I just kept, you know, working with patterns I got at Joann's and whatever. And now, of course, there's all sorts of tutorials, and I've learned a ton from, you know, YouTube and tutorials and everything like that. For knitting, one year, I'm not sure what year, I was an adult. After college, all my sisters decided we're going to learn knitting. It was over Christmas break or something. So we all got stuff, and I was trying to find a photo, you know, like the old photos. I think we were all sitting around my mom's dining room table, like learning how to knit. And everybody else, not everybody else, everyone didn't become obsessed with it except me. I just loved it so much. And then one of my sisters got pregnant and I started knitting baby items, which is a really good way to learn different techniques, it turns out, because it's small and it's easily finished, and you have to learn a lot of different types of stitches for one project. I was obsessed with Debbie Bliss, you know.
Yes.
They were so soft. I just loved the feel of her yarns, and she had a couple of books with little baby knits, and they were so cute. So I did that a lot until I had kids and realized they poop all over it and it's hard to take care of.
Yeah.
So then I got into the hats, and I'm in socks now. I love knitting socks. I never thought that would be something I would do, but I could knit socks for the rest of my life. I'd be so happy.
I love it. Oh, sorry.
No problem.
Oh, that is so cool. Weston, hey, no, thank you. That is so cool. So when you started your business, hey,
He wants to be involved.
he does. He must hear something outside. Hey, enough. Sorry.
No problem.
So when you moved to staying home and started your business, how did that start, and what was your vision for your business?
Well, it actually started because I wanted to make reusable shopping bags. This was while I was teaching. I really wanted to, you know, have the reusable shopping bags, and stores were starting to not provide bags anymore. So I learned how to do that. And then I had fabric left over, and so, okay, I'll just knit some more. And every once in a while I'd do like a craft show with my sister and just sell random stuff. So I started selling these market bags. And then one of my teacher friends asked for like a small version for a lunch bag. And so I made her one, and then all the other teachers wanted one. And so it just went from there. And I started my Etsy shop in 2008. So I'm an original adopter. I feel so old. 15 years on Etsy. But I was doing that while teaching, and I was also in grad school. So to segue into my business name, yes, I would work on my business from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And then I would take a shower and go teach all day and then probably go to grad school. So 5 to 6 was like my time for my side hustle. And of course, more hours than that, but that's how I became my business name. Anyway.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
then,
wonderful.
go ahead.
So you started knitting your business as knitting?
No, it was just
you were
the
selling them.
fabric
Okay.
lunch bags.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so I had this lunch bag size. I mean, it's like the size of a Starbucks to-go bag, if everybody knows those bags. So it was just this very simple canvas on one side, not too different than some of the stuff I sell now. And I just decided to put the word knit on one of them and just sell one that said knit because I liked knitting and I needed a bag. And so I sold a bunch of those. And then I started kind of, I don't know, people were buying lunch bags and wondering why they weren't insulated. And I just felt like I wasn't excited about lunch bags anymore, but I was very excited about knitting. And so I just kind of like gradually pulled all of my lunch bags and market bags and pouches out of my shop. And I just kind of went all in on knitting stuff. Right when the pandemic started, I had a friend who, and I had the same problem. We had all these DPNs, you know, every single size, every single length, and how do you keep these stupid things organized? So we were kind of chatting about this, and I'm like, I have an idea on how to organize these. And so it was like right when the pandemic was going crazy. And so I had all this time that I designed what is now I designed this basically. So it's just my pouch with pocket slots labeled for the DPNs. And so I just kind of like make one and put it on Etsy, and then it would sell. And then I'd, you know, when you make something 1,000 times, it just gets better and better and better. And so yeah, I just followed what my customers wanted. And then people started saying, oh, well, you do these for DPNs. What about interchangeable needles? And I didn't even have a set. And then I discovered the wonderful beauty of interchangeable needles. So then I designed that, and it just, the lunch bags were long gone. It was just all about keeping knitters in their organizers. That's how it started.
That's so wonderful. I love that it was a transition of necessity, of solving a problem, of looking at your own life and your friend's life and saying, oh gosh, what a pain. How can I make this better? And wow, that's really wonderful, because absolutely. I have tried several different organizers for things, and none of them have quite worked out. I haven't. Part of it might be that I've stuffed them a little.
Never happened to me before. I don't know what you're talking about.
So I just recently got my first set of really nice interchangeable needles, and my parents got them for my birthday, and I was saying to you before, because I'm a crochet designer, like that takes priority. So it was probably 6 months before I even like pulled them out of the bag and started knitting with them. And I was like, oh, these are amazing. They were so enjoyable. But when I first started knitting, my husband was in graduate school and I was a teacher. So I was our sole income. And so I only bought my knitting needles like 50% off coupon at Joann's, one thing of knitting needles. But I mean, I probably spent way more individually buying those fixed needles than I would have spent on one set of interchangeables. But
yeah, and then you find the ones you like, whether it's the metal or bamboo, like you realize, oh, well, this one's really the best. So you have to buy more of those.
Also, I would do oh, shoot, that's in a project. And since they're fixed, you can't take them out. So then I'd go buy another set. So I always ended up with multiple pairs of these.
Yes, this is
needle.
The problem I strive to solve for people. I get people emailing me, they're telling me about their collections and they're like embarrassed, or I'm like, just be proud. It's amazing. It's money spent, but it's your hobby, and don't be ashamed. Just love your hobby.
Absolutely. And I think we think like It's just me. I'm the only one who does this. But no, I don't think I've ever said anything about my hobby and had people go, nope, just you, Sarah.
No, not at all. Whether you're
There's
a
always
garden
somebody that's like, me too, me too. So
fun to
that's so
get all
much
those
fun.
supplies for just the right use, and it makes it more fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, gosh, you like dove in all out with the teaching and the graduate school and a side hustle. That is a lot.
Yeah, I have zero chill, so I don't. Well, I mean that's another reason I love knitting, because you can't run around. You have to sit down. I like to put my feet up. It's my chance to just sit. But yeah, busy. It's a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. I too am the kind of person who always wants my hands busy. I'm not great at just like sitting still completely.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. So, um, what was the evolution of the bags? You started with the double pointed needle bags that had a place to keep all your double pointed needles. What came next?
Then came the interchangeable. Well, shoot, I don't have a circular one down here. So I had, of course, had to buy interchangeables because people need it. It was research, right?
Yes.
Business expense. And then double circular needles are notoriously horrible to store, right? Just they're all over the place and there's so many. So that might have been right after the double pointed. I designed, it's basically this, but bigger. So this is the cable organizer. So the circular one has just bigger pockets. So it's just plastic zip pockets that I labeled to hold the circulars. And that fits inside the double pointed organizer. And then so the cable organizer fits inside the interchangeable needle organizer. So you can have just all of your different systems together. So double pointed, circular, then interchangeable cable. And then I have also project bags, which have not, like I said, kind of similar to those lunch bags I used to be making. But then, of course, knitters want pockets. So I started adding zip pockets and a ring for stitch markers, just always trying to kind of listen to what my customers are asking for. And then if enough people ask for it, then offering it standard and going that way.
That's awesome. Then when did the crochet hook bag come along? Because you're not a crocheter. Or have you picked up crocheting?
I am. I've known how to crochet. And when you first introduced yourself to me, I was, checking you out. Who is this Sarah girl? And I love your YouTube channel. And it got me all excited to pick up a project. Sarah, I don't have it right here. I picked up and started doing a crochet project. Mm-hmm. I wanted to stop living my life and sit and crochet for the rest of my life. It's so fun and addicting. It's like, I love knitting and love knitting. And crocheting is like, it's not easier. I don't know how to read patterns. I need help. I need classes. But it's just so methodical and just easy to sit and just enjoy it. And you don't know how to stop. Like last night I was sitting there and my hands were starting to hurt. Like I should really put this down, but it's so fun. I love crochet. So I can definitely see myself learning more. My sister's a photographer and she was asking me about little newborn outfits because how to like knit and crochet. So she sent me this pattern that was crochet, little baby romper, so cute. And I'm like, I have to learn how to do this because so cute.
Oh, I have a couple designers I'm going to hook you up. We'll talk about this afterwards. I have a friend who makes really cute, like vintage baby kind of things, and another one who did lots of photography stuff when she started out, and they're both wonderful designers.
So cute. And your earrings, I need.
Thank you.
I don't really want to make them, so I need to. Do you sell your earrings?
I don't sell my earrings, but I have a friend who just opened a shop for selling earrings. So yes. Yeah.
So cute. So pretty.
We'll hook you up with all the crochet people.
Yeah. So I designed the crochet hook organizer and I had to buy a whole set of crochet hooks to make sure I had had to have them for the photos, and so fun. So fun.
I love it. That's so wonderful. Oh, so much fun. I totally agree. I love to knit and I love to crochet, and they're just different. They're
Yeah.
both wonderful, but just different. And so it's so great to be able to do both. I learned to knit first, and I learned to crochet because I was seeing crochet things, and I was like, but I want to make that.
Yeah, exactly.
So fun.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, you were just beyond kind and lovely to send me one of your bags, which I love this print, and I am super impressed. It is one super sturdy, which I love. I can already tell it's gonna like stand up on its own, which is nice. It's a really nice heavy fabric, and yeah, all sorts of little, like there's a pocket on the inside, and then all these little places to put your notions and stuff. So wonderful.
Yay.
Thank you. First
You're
of all,
welcome.
I can't wait to use this. I am looking through your shop. I love the fabrics you pick. How is that something you've always enjoyed, putting colors and fabrics together?
Yeah.
And how do you pick your fabrics?
Well,
you need to tell us like where you buy, like no trade secrets.
Oh, no.
But like,
Amy
how do you
Butler.
pick them out?
Do you know Amy Butler, the designer?
I don't.
She was very popular. I mean, Amy, if you're watching, you're still popular. You're still. But she designs fabrics and wallpaper, and she's a print designer. And she was big when I kind of got into the market bags. And actually, probably part of my success is because of these amazing designers, because their art is what I use. I mean, I just put the art on the bag, like just beautiful. I love bold fabrics. And so that's kind of what really drew me back into sewing, is using all these gorgeous fabrics. And then those were readily available. But I discovered this website. It's Hawthorne Supply Co. They're based in New York, but they print their fabrics in-house. So it means I can get as much as I need over and over and over and over. So that's really good for my business. And they're also female run. And well, I think it's a husband and wife team, but just amazing customer service. And they employ these designers. So Beth Schneider designed this beautiful floral print that's been one of my best sellers. They have all these female print designers that they contract with, and they just can print their designs on any type of fabric. So quilting, cotton, or poplin, or rayon, so I use their linen canvas, which is excellent quality, very sturdy. It's pretty, you don't want to throw it in the washing machine, but it's pretty easy to spot clean. So yeah, I've just been only using them ever since. It's kind of like a spoon flower situation where they can print on demand. So it's just like a conglomeration of women doing what they're so called to do. They're creative, they're made businesses for themselves and like supporting each other. Even like Instagram, just all the knit designers and the pattern designers. And it just makes me so happy to support other women in what they're doing, men too. But it's just been mostly women that I found. So it's so fun to go on that website and I really can't, because if I really ordered everything I wanted, I would be out of business. But sometimes I send customers there if they're not super into what I offer. They can pick from the website, and if there's just an extra fee for them, they can pick something that's more personalized to their taste. So that's an option too.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. So do you like say every so often I'm going to add a new pattern, and like do you retire patterns, or have you stayed more with like, are there some classic ones that you always are just drawn to?
Yeah, there's certain ones that just are best sellers for my customers. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to retire those if people still like them. But then other ones that, after a couple of months, if they're not, although this is also Beth Schneider. I was like, oh, people aren't really ordering it. And then all of a sudden, everybody wanted it. It's so pretty. I love it. So I never want to. But, and then like the sheep, I love the sheep. And this comes in all sorts of colors. It's hard to pick. So I just went with the charcoal. But yeah, there's been a couple that I've cycled in and out. And there's actually a few upcoming kind of fruit fun, like lemon and citrus, strawberries that I have. I just need to, find the time to get those listed because they're so fun.
Always the time, right?
No.
More inspiration and supplies than time to create.
Yes, that's a good feeling.
It is. It is. Is there a certain print that you were like, oh, I don't know, that people have just gone like bonkers over?
I mean, no, I think everything, people have picked things. Actually, that's how I've found a lot of my fabrics is someone else will find it because I know what I like, but I want to go with what my customers like. And so some of these fabrics that someone else picked, I don't remember who, have become a bestseller, and it just keeps growing. It's fun.
That's awesome. Oh, how exciting. So fun. So tell us a little bit about your like your shop and how updates work, and just so people know kind of what to expect and how they can grab one of your gorgeous bags if they want one.
Yeah. Well, I used to be open on a more regular basis. It's just with demand, I have to take my inventory down so I can catch up with orders because everything is handmade. So basically I'll have a shop reopening, and I need to do a better job of communicating this because it's not like I have my shelves stocked. I have basically my fabric stocked and all my supplies. So it does take quite a while, especially if it's custom orders, to get those made. So a custom order can take 2 to 3 weeks from order time to ship time. And then it's even a little bit longer now because I got a bunch of orders. So yeah, it's best to just get on my email list, and I communicate when my openings are. And then I'm an evolving business owner. So sometimes I'm only open for a couple of days, and then I've gotten too much. So I need to shut down to not add to my workload. But I have a form now that I've developed for people to request a custom organizer. And I think that's going to help me kind of stay on top of what people want, because some things are just like my standard patterns and it works for a lot of people, but a lot of people have custom requests and different, special combinations of needles that they want. So I can send you that link, or it's on my website too, where people can kind of get the process started if they want to order a custom organizer.
Awesome. Wonderful. Yes, I will. You can either send that to me or I'll go grab it, and I will put it in the show notes. Okay. So everybody out there knows there are links to all the things in the show notes. So we'll make sure, I think it's already in there, but I'll double check about your email list and your shop and all of the things so that people can go check those out. So when you open your Etsy shop, you have like a single example of each of the options, and then each bag order is custom made as people order it.
Yes.
Wow.
Correct.
Awesome.
I did just start employing some neighbor girls to help me with
I love it.
The background. Yeah, it's been great. It's a little piecework. So, I'm trying to be more efficient and get these orders out sooner, but part of the joy is the handmade. So people seem fine with waiting, which is lovely.
Yes, absolutely. When I have found, generally speaking, that people who hand make, so since your focus is knitters and crocheters, people who hand make, they get that it takes a while. Though we're not Amazon here. We don't just like have shelves and shelves of things laying around and now like just send it out the door. So yes. Oh, that's so cool. So are you always taking custom orders then, or do you have a limit to those two where you're just like, I can't anymore?
Well, like I said, it's my business is evolving over time and more people are finding out about me, which is so lovely. So I just can't, I mean, there were 2 days recently where it was just answering questions about custom orders, and then I have to make them. So right now I'm not even reviewing the forms yet, but I will sit down and like get in a rhythm of looking at the requests. And what I do is I make a little screenshot that shows exactly what's it look like in the end and the fabric choices. So it's really clear that we're on the same page. So it just takes a little bit of time and back and forth, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of just like ebbs and flows with whether I'm accepting the custom orders or not.
Sure. Absolutely. I think one of the best things you can do for yourself and your family and your customer is make sure that you know your limits and just say like, gotta stop, because there's only so many hours in the day and you can't burn yourself out. Don't burn yourself out. You're making gorgeous stuff. We want to see you for the long haul here.
Thank you. Yes, that is definitely the key. I want to be there for my kids and live a normal life and have time for knitting.
Absolutely. All right. Tell us a little bit about your knitting. What's the last project you finished up?
Ooh, the last project I finished, I finished 2 pairs of socks this year that I don't have on hand, but right now I'm working on, it's called the party top, which is so cute. Look at this yarn I found. I'm a very orange girl, orange and pink and red. So it's like hand dyed, of course, and so soft. And then the sleeves have this like eyelet sort of detail. So it's just interesting enough to be fun. And then it's got the, just knit down. And I made it too short. I had to rip out a whole bunch, but it's fine.
You know what though? Okay, so I'm not good at sewing. My mom was a tailor. I said I thought I really need to learn how to sew better because I'm still like, Mom, there's a hole in this. Can you fix it? I'm like, I'm a grown up. I really need to figure this out. But she makes all the pajama pants for my boys.
Aww.
And so last time we went home, I said, I bought fabric for pajama pants. Let's make them together and you can teach me how. And she was like, no, that's okay. And I was like, okay, so we've moved past
Stand back
where you really want to teach me. And so I just need to go take like an online course to learn. But I do have to say one of the things I appreciate about Yarncraft, as I have done some sewing and my fabric incorrectly, and then like you're stuck.
Yeah.
One of the great things about Yarncraft is you can just unravel it and use your same materials and go forward again.
I know. It's true. It's like it never happened.
Exactly.
I always laugh because my husband sees me sitting there for just hours knitting and knitting. And then it is not uncommon for me to be like, well, that didn't work. And I'm always just like, well, it's a free knitting now. Like, I pay good money for this yarn, might as well knit it twice.
Exactly. I love that. I realized that I ripped out a whole lot when I was like sitting next to my husband, we're watching TV, and I'm literally like, like a whole bunch of the stuff. And he's just like sitting there because he used to go, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, doesn't even fit
normal here. Yeah. I really was into hats for a while, and now I have so many hats. But it's hard because you're not really sure when you're knitting it if it's going to be the right circumference until it gets to be a certain length and you can sort of try it on or look. And so I will just be like on a road trip, I'm starting over. Start it over. They're unfazed at this point, but I think it's a good, I always try to point it out to my kids, like, I made a mistake. No big deal. I can fix this mistake. Mistakes happen. It's fine. I'm not going to get flustered about it.
Yes, that is a great example for kids. Oh my goodness. So fun. So do you have a project that like is like when I finish this, I'm gonna get to do like
Well,
something
okay.
you're really excited to start
Yes.
sometime
So
soon?
I do have. Is it just me, or do you have a lot of whips?
Mhm.
I got from Whitney of Moonglow Yarn Co. Are you familiar?
I'm not, so share with
Oh,
me. I want to see.
she makes the most beautiful color combinations. So I can't resist. So her latest color drop was this set. It's like, I forget what she called it, the summer pool time or something. So pretty, so soft. So I bought like, it's probably not even enough for a blanket, but I want to knit a blanket. I think maybe it'll be crochet. I don't know. I need to figure it out. But yes, this is what I'm excited about, because now I have all this glorious yarn and I got to do something with it. That's my
I
next
love it.
to do.
That would be a great like lacy blanket.
Ooh, yeah. Got any patterns for me?
Oh, I bet we could find one. Oh, that's so fun. Yes. No, I 100% understand that. I mean, obviously, I have a lot of yarn. One time I
Amazing.
was chatting with somebody and they said, "So you're a yarn shop owner?" And I was like, and she,
It would seem
"Oh,
so.
that was your shop."
I love it.
It's a personal collection.
I know. I'm in some ways I'm such a minimalist, and in others I'm just not.
Yes. I aspire to be a minimalist, but when we moved and they said like clear all the things off of your counters, and I was like, oh, and then I did it, and I was like, oh, this is lovely. Like all the kitchen counters are clear and everything, and I was like, I'm gonna do that forever. But I've just decided there are some things in my life I'm not a minimalist about. Yarn is not one of them, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I just really think like having what you need in an efficient way, like it doesn't need to look a certain way, but if you have it at the ready, if it's organized in a way you understand, then just have your collection and don't forget about any yarn tucked back in there. And that could be the only problem, right?
Yes, I was just actually thinking today. It's time again to like pull all the things out to go through and like really say, am I going to use it? Is it time to move it on to someone else who would appreciate it more? Is it time to reorganize? I've kept some yarn that I keep dreaming of making a sweater out of. Like I just need to like set aside some time and do it, turn more of it into things to wear.
I know. Every once in a while, I just have to reassess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you keep a large personal fabric collection as well?
I do not. Yeah, it's interesting. I've had a couple of conversations lately of trying to figure out a custom order, and it really made me realize I know the materials I like working with, and sewing has really become my business now. It's not my hobby anymore.
Mhm.
So I do have some that's stashed away that I'll use someday, or if the kids want to use it. But I'm not really sad about it. It's just like I have what I need for my business, and in order to run an efficient business, I need to keep my inventory low and
Mhm.
workable. So yeah, it just kind of transitioned that way. And someday maybe I'll get more into sewing and want to have different types and styles and go forward with that. But right now, it's just kind of like that part is more bare bones, just running it as a business, not a hobby anymore. But not the knitting.
Hey, I think that's important. It's really important to have some things that are just your business and have some things separate that are just for pleasure as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Can I ask you some of your favorite things?
Sure.
Okay. What is your favorite type of pattern to knit?
Ooh, I love a raglan sweater, and I love texture. So I'm drawn toward patterns where I don't have to change colors a lot because I'm lazy. But I don't want it to just be like boring. So I really love patterns that have different texture that'll kind of keep it interesting. So this color set that I've got is going to help me break out of my fear of changing colors. Yeah, I would say interesting texture and something that shows off the yarn itself. It just depends, I guess.
Do you have either a fabric or a style of your project bags that is your favorite to either make or use?
Let's see. Well, I really like this size project bag. I mean, they're pretty easy to make. It's exactly like the one I sent you. It's just like, it feels like it's so versatile, and I don't have to think about, am I doing the pockets wrong because of someone's custom request? I can just make it and kind of lean into just the enjoyment of the sewing process itself without having to worry too much about if I'm doing it exactly right. So I would say the project bags are pretty fun for that reason. But like in terms of fabric, I mean, it's kind of obvious. I do love the watercolor art.
Me too.
It's just gorgeous. I like bold prints and color. So yeah, that's really what I'm drawn to.
Me too. It's gorgeous. And can I say, I love so that you have a little handle on your bags.
Strap, yeah.
Because I am constantly throwing like 18 things and like going out the door. So I need like a little handle to hang on to.
Yes. We are moms.
Very practical.
We're busy women. We need all our hands.
Yes. And I'm a firm believer in never too many projects. And so therefore never too many project bags.
Agree.
I love it. Do you have a little spot for your sewing in your house where you're just always set up?
Yeah, I do. Up in my top floor of my house, right off my bedroom, is my sewing room. And I'm lucky enough to have a dedicated room. When we were house shopping, my saint of a husband knew that we needed a sewing room. And so he had to find his office somewhere else. Used to work outside the home, but of course now he works remote. And so we had to fight for offices.
That's nice. Where is your favorite place to knit?
My favorite place to knit is the couch. I mean, easy. We have a big like sectional couch, and we call one corner of it the cozy corner. And my kids and I are always fighting for the cozy corner because we could put our feet up, and it's the most comfortable spot, and that's where I like to knit. But other than that, I would just say anywhere outside if it's nice weather, as long as I can have my feet up. I love having my feet up, knitting outside, in my backyard or the beach or wherever.
I was going to say, do you take your knitting on the go with you when you're out and about places?
Good. Yeah, I was knitting at my son's gymnastics yesterday, and sometimes I get comments, but nobody said anything this time.
I love it. I love it. What's your favorite thing to drink while you work?
I love coffee. I could drink coffee all day if I let myself, which I don't, but yeah, coffee girl.
Yep, same here. If I get past a certain point, then it's like, why did I do this to myself? I'm never going to sleep. What's your favorite color?
Pink or orange. I like the warm.
Bold or like more soft?
Did you say cold?
Bold or more soft pink?
Yeah, bold. Or I mean, I just love color. I love all the colors. But yeah, bright. I like bright and bold. Yeah. My friend had a wedding and she picked rainbow. Her theme was rainbow. So every bridesmaid was a different color of the rainbow. And everyone, like, nobody wanted orange. And I was like, I got it. I'm all about the orange. An excuse to buy orange shoes? Okay.
I love it. That's wonderful. Yeah. What's your favorite season?
Summer.
Yeah.
I love the light and the warmth. Yeah. Summer all the way. So excited it's all summer.
A big beach person? Do you have beach and mountains by you?
Yeah, we are a road trip family because my husband's from Oregon his parents live in Portland, but they have a house on the beach in kind of central Oregon coast. So every summer we go at least once, sometimes twice. And yeah, it's a great place to knit on the beach. And then we have a house in the mountains, in the Cascades here. So beach, mountains. We're also skiers and snowboarders. I've been known to knit at base camp when we're having a ski day.
I thought you were going to say on the slopes, and I was going to be so impressed, and also a little concerned.
Not yet. I should do that. That'd be so good for the gram.
Back to the bunny hills so that you can knit and ski down the.
Oh God, I would not do two at once. I would hurt myself. I'm not the most accomplished snowboarder.
I love it. I love it. Okay, a little this or that.
Okay.
Book or podcast?
Oh, podcasts.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite?
Well, anything hands-free, honestly. I love books. So maybe I'll go audiobook.
Audiobook
as a medium because I like to knit or sew while I'm consuming my. But my favorite podcast is Happier with Gretchen Rubin. She just it's just really light, and she hosts it with her sister, and I have sisters, and they just talk about like ways to be happier and ways to be a better person and life hacks, and it's just entertaining.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. I love listening to dynamic sister pairs talk, because I have a sister too, so it's fun to listen to.
Good stuff.
Wonderful. Do you prefer a sweater or a cardigan?
Sweater.
If you are going to have a snack, do you go salty or sweet?
I used to be sweet, but I'm becoming more salty in more ways than one.
Which is the worst, swatching or weaving in your ends?
Oh, weaving in ends. I'm too worried about messing up the final project to not swatch.
Yeah.
So I usually do it.
Awesome. I know. We've all been there.
But I do try to just weave the ends in and not try to think about it too much. But yeah, not the most fun.
End weaving is good for a really good TV show.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I'll look at it that way.
There we go. try to put like a little positive switch on that. But I agree. I'm like you. I'm like, is there any way I can adjust this slightly to not have to weave in as many?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that is all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been so much fun.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been really fun to get to know you through your YouTube channel and our conversations back and forth. And I'm looking forward to following along with all you're doing next.
Right back at you. I am so excited. Now we're just best buddies, and I'll be keeping an eye out. Very exciting.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
You are so welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Right? She's just so wonderful. So please, please, please check out the description below. All the links are there. I was going to say currently, but who knows when you're watching this. So just double check to see if her shop is open. Check out all those gorgeous prints. Go follow her on Instagram. Sign up for her email list so that you don't miss out on the next shop update. I know I am definitely going to do that. If you enjoyed this, I have lots more Meet the Maker talks on my YouTube channel. I would love it if you would like this video. Send a little comment and I'll be checking back in on those, and subscribe if you enjoy this so that then YouTube will notify you when the next one comes up. Thank you again for joining us today, and happy crafting.